Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel to receive notifications when new contents are posted in the future. A group which identifies itself as Diablocritics, Kipp Davis, Joshua Bowen, Jennifer Bird, and Vishanti, recently posted a video offering criticisms of my interview with Zach Miller on perspectives on the historical Adam and Eve. After I posted a document showing that they have committed at least 30 errors in their criticisms, some of the Diablocritics posted a second video replying to my document. However, instead of successfully refuting my arguments, they committed another additional 51 errors and reached a total of 81 errors. I shall now explain some of their errors, starting from error 31, counting from the previous 30 errors they made. At 16 minutes 23 seconds of their video, one critic sloppily states that I am talking about genetic Adam and Eve, when in fact I am talking about genealogical Adam and Eve. There is an important distinction between genealogical ancestry and genetic ancestry, which the critic seemed to be unaware of, and thus he commits an error. Error 31. For the distinction between genealogical ancestry and genetic ancestry, see Joshua Swamidass, The Overlooked Science of Genealogical Ancestry. Perspectives on Science and the Christian Faith, 2018. At 24 minutes 49 seconds, one critic claims, "I think that's where he wants to go, is that it doesn't matter what the text meant. All that matters is that it does not contradict with his scientific model." This is a misrepresentation. Error 32. As explained in my video with Zach, and also in Chapter 1 of my book, The Origin of Humanity and Evolution, one should first interpret the Bible according to proper hermeneutical principles such as considering the literary genre, literary context, meaning of words, grammatical relationship, and the background and concerns of the ancient authors. Task A. In other words, contrary to the critic, it does matter what the text meant. Likewise, I explained the scientific data should be interpreted according to proper mainstream scientific methodology. After accomplishing these tasks, one then considers whether a model can be offered to show that the results do not contradict, for the purpose of Task C. At 29 minutes 7 seconds, one critic comments on my MD qualification and says, "Your MD doesn't qualify you to be discussing evolution, like an expert in the field of, say, genetics. There's a couple of MDs working over there at Answers in Genesis." The critic fails to note that there is also a couple of experts in the field of genetics working over there at Answers in Genesis, e.g., Nathaniel Jensen and Georgia Purdom. Error 33. And that, along with the majority of geneticists, I disagree with young Earth creationism, and that I cite scientific results published in mainstream scientific peer-reviewed publications, and thus the critic's comment is irrelevant. Error 34. At 31 minutes 27 seconds, after citing my argument that the critic confounds Task A with Task C, a critic says, "Andrew, no one cares." This is Error 35. Zach Miller, who interviewed me, cares about this distinction, as do other scientists and scholars such as Josh Swamidass, Mark Harris, Shoaib Malik, Seth Hart, William Lane Craig, who have discussed my work in academic publications and conferences. Another critic says, "Whose tasks are these? Are these his tasks? I assume these are his, because I've never heard of these tasks in anything else I've ever taken part in." The critic's assumption is false, Error 36, and is based on his ignorance of the academic discussion in the interdisciplinary field of science and religion where my work has been cited, as noted above. Other scholars may not call these tasks A, B, and C, but they have attempted something similar, as noted in Chapter 1 of my book. At 32 minutes 53 seconds, one critic asks, did he manage Task B? And the other critics failed to note that I did talk about Task B, i.e., showing that the biblical account is true in other parts of my video with Zach Miller. The critic's failure to note this point constitutes error 37. At 34 minutes 43 seconds, one critic claims regarding task C, "Nobody cares about this stuff. Your language games don't mean anything to anyone in the world." This is another false claim, error 38. The critic fails to note the context in which task C was offered to rebut Jerry Coyne and others, e.g. Kenton Sparks, who have claimed that science is in conflict with a historical Adam. What I offered is not merely a language game, but a rebuttal of their claim, and it means a lot to many people who are concerned about the relationship between science and religion. If nobody cares about this stuff as the critic claims, I would not have been invited by other scholars to participate in the Perspectives on the Historical Adam and Eve book project, to respond to Sparks and others, and be invited by people from various parts of the world, e.g. USA, Singapore, Hong Kong, Ethiopia, to speak about this stuff. For a documentation of the rest of the 81 errors committed by the Diablocritics, click on the link to the document in the description of this video below.